Hi, I'm Simon McCurdy. For the past few days I've been chairing EIG 2016. EIG 2016 is a coming together of geoprofessionals within the extractive industries, and it's really the only opportunity they have to showcase and to share the things that they're doing with other people doing similar things elsewhere.
It's a very useful forum for people to get together and to talk about the issues, to talk about the challenges that they're facing, and to share ideas, I think.
It's a great venue this year. Great Hall's pretty fantastic, really. I'm pretty biased because we're only based down the road, so.
This is a ride together of both academia and industry.
Our keynote speech for this morning's session will be given by Dr. Alan Cobb. Over to you. The conference was opened by our keynote speech, which this year, topically, given the 50th anniversary, was about the Aberfan disaster and the importance of remembering and applying that to modern day science and engineering.
The actual damage was fairly localised, but of course when you got hit by that, it was pretty well no escape from it. It had a very profound impact on my generation, although I believe there are now some of you who are too young to even remember it. Well, the main message is that you forget the lessons of the past at your peril. There is pressure on tipping space now, even more than there was then. It costs money to find somewhere to tip. When one of the things that happens in companies is that what happens 20 years ago is forgotten about because people get promoted or leave or retire, and the information doesn't get passed on. It relates to all of us that people get the message through to their bosses, to the corporate managers who have ultimate responsibility.
Alan is a true authority on this type of matter. He's of the generation, as I am, who watched Aberfan aged 13 on the telly that evening, and it never goes away.
If things can go wrong, they will go wrong, and if they do go wrong, they can go wrong on quite a large scale on the mineral side. So our duty, I suppose, in the EIG is making sure that we have a range of meetings, a range of papers that cover the activities that applied geoscientists get involved with.
With such a strong sort of keynote speech about Aberfan, it's really important to everyone, and just making sure that we don't forget about the past.
Thank you very much.
We've had a conference programme which has been incredibly diverse: hydrogeology, geotechnics, computer science, use of drones within the industry.
But this is the actual design that's going through Parliament of the final layout.
Development of HS2 and the importance the industry is playing in the development of that. And we've also had a presentation this time round about deep sea mining, which is very much topical at the moment.
And as you'll see in this video, we're approaching the sea floor. You can see the flashing beacon on the camera of RD2, and then it's a fairly anxious wait to determine whether the site that we've selected is suitably flat.
One of the interesting aspects of EIG is the post-presentation in discussions, dialogue and debate.
Thinking about sort of standard PPE filters for dust masks and things, how effective are they?
One of the most interesting of those this time around was with regards to dust in our industry.
We can't protect ourselves from everything. It's one of the scary things about science. The smaller things get, there's going to be a point that we just can't do anything about it, and we have to accept that particles from outer space are going to hit the Earth, and we can't stop them. The speed with which we react is getting better and faster because science is out there doing things very quickly and very cleverly now, but we're always going to lag a long way. So it's a very, very hard question to answer.
Yeah, I've learned stuff. I learned all sorts of historical stuff this morning. I learned things yesterday about bits of the industry I didn't know anything about. I went to a session on water, which is something I don't know much about, and I found that absolutely fascinating.
Things come up of, oh yeah, well I'm running into that. How did you address that?
Absolutely.
Or, boy, that's something I never considered.
This is a really nice audience to present to. People are really keen to share their opinions and their insights. And coming from academia, it's really nice to be able to interact in this way with industry.
There's been discussions about planning in the national parks. I used to work in a national park, so I know how sensitive work in those places are. Any quarry or mining operation has got to be done somewhere, and you can only do it where the minerals occur. So having that sort of robust discussion, it really is what it's all about.
EIG is far from just being about the presentations and those sessions. It's like the coming together of a wider family, essentially. So the social aspects of the conference are really important.
They've learnt over time that probably one of the most important things is to have substantial time for coffee and cakes.
I think the hog roast was an excellent idea. It should be repeated again next time for sure.
Really good. We've had really lovely conversations with a lot of different people from a lot of different organisations, so a lot of interesting ideas being discussed.
There's a lot of positive, looking to the future discussions that seem to be occurring today.
I've certainly been around a lot of the trade stands, looking at different things. We've got a mixture of drilling contractors, hydrogeological consultants, some of the specialist services that I've never seen before.
We offer a niche service that is actually in high demand, from larger companies. But yeah, the right people are there to talk to and make proper business with.
What does EIG mean to us? Well, hopefully it means more work to us.
Probably the best space for trade stand exhibitions and the conference dinner all in one go that we've ever had, that I remember in quite a lot of these conferences that I've been to.
Coming to an event like this allows us to meet lots of different companies and basically display our brand and look for opportunities to bid work in the future.
Proof of pudding is how much business we take away from the conference, and we usually look to take away about 3 pieces of business from any conference we go to. We've got 2 so far, so for the conference we're just looking for 1 more. We should be okay.
What we always try to do is get some of the students from the university in to help, because we're trying to raise the profile of the industry to them for employment opportunity.
Quarrying and mining was something that I'd never really considered, but having talked to people, it actually seems kind of a fascinating area, so I'm really, really glad that I did decide to come along.
As Tarmac, after EIG last year, we were looking for a couple of students just to come and do a few months' work with us. We emailed all the helpers and asked if any of them were willing to come and work for us for 3 months, and luckily we got 2 responses, and we had Hannah and Gareth come and work for us for 3 months. And that 3 months then got extended to be 6 to 8 month contracts, and then ultimately we had 2 positions came up which they were able to apply for and successfully managed to secure for themselves.
I was not expecting to have a job come out of being a student helper at EIG, and I'm really pleased that I made the decision to come to it.
When you come as a student, obviously there's the pressure of you're trying to meet as many people as possible, and you're quite unsure of how everything works and how the industry works in general. But coming back as a delegate is much more relaxed. Everyone's quite open and friendly, and you actually know a few faces now.
Then we had the conference dinner, another important part of the programme. It was great for me to be involved in things like the charity raffle this time. We regularly raise now over £2,000 every time we come together for a conference for local charities, which is fantastic.
Absolutely vital. A lot of our money comes from fundraising. The charity industry is struggling massively, and events like this, raising awareness and helping make funds available for those people that need it, is just invaluable.
This is perfect weather. The sun isn't shining in.
An important element of the EIG conference as well is the ability to get out and see firsthand a lot of the operations that we talk about in the presentations. We run a number of field trips through the conference programme, and for delegates to be able to go and witness that is fantastic.
It gives the delegates an opportunity to see a geology close-up that they wouldn't normally see. So it's a sort of educational and community engagement.
These days, I tend not to get out into the field as much as I would like. So coming to a quarry like this is a fantastic opportunity to see an active mineral operation, but also to get up close and personal with the rocks.
We have a private view around the Lapworth Museum, the only geological museum in the entire West Midlands. So its importance is really strong, particularly for young people, students, graduates, to have collections like that they can access. right from this afternoon or this evening, we are starting to plan for the next conference in 2 years' time.
I'm the next chairman for the conference in 2 years' time. It's a real honour to be offered that position. I just know that the team that we have supporting us are going to work the socks off to make the next event as successful as this one has been.
It'll be very difficult to beat this one. Fantastic chairman, great organising committee, superb venue. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to beat.